Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil mursaleen. I am Muhammad Abul Kashem, Senior Lecturer, Department of Islamic Studies, Milestone College, Dhaka. My dear students, how are you? Happy New Year to all of you. My dear students, in our today's class, I will discuss some creative questions from Chapter 5. Dear students, let's start our today's creative solution from Chapter 5. Dear students, come to all board 2017. Question 10 and 11, I will discuss or solve these two creative questions. First creative question 10, all board 2017. Mr. Abdul Ghani is a wealthy man. He removed scarcity of water of his local people. He extended the local mosque as there was scarcity of accommodation by his own cost. On the other hand, Mr. Misir Ali is a talented man. He earned profound knowledge in hadith, tafsir and other subjects. He translated an Arabic poetry book named Diwane Ali and used to live a very simple life. Question from this creative: A. What is the name of Hazrat Ali's wife? Question B. Why Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu is regarded as the Jamiul Quran? Question C. Whose lifestyle is manifested in the activity of Mr. Abdul Ghani? Explain. Question D. Discuss the life sketch of the great personality which is reflected in the activity of Mr. Misir Ali. Answer for these questions, dear student. Question A. What is the name of Hazrat Ali's wife? Hazrat Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha, the younger daughter of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was the wife of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Question B. Why Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu is regarded as Jamiul Quran? Answer. Jamiul Quran means compiler of Al-Quran or gatherer of Al-Quran or collector of Al-Quran. As Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu finally compiled Al-Quran, gathered Al-Quran, that's why he was titled as Jamiul Quran. During the regime of Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he was the third Caliph of Islam, in that time Islam was spread all over the world. That's why different regional recitation of Al-Quran was started in different parts of the world. That's why by the suggestion of Hazrat Huzaifa radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu took initiative to compile Al-Quran, and by the help of Hazrat Zaid ibn Sabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he formed a Quran compilation board of 4 members headed by Zaid ibn Sabit, and Hazrat Zaid ibn Sabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu made 7 copies from the manuscript of Al-Quran that was made by Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and it was under the custody of Hazrat Hafsa radiallahu ta'ala anha, who was the wife of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Hazrat Zaid ibn Sabit made 7 copies from this manuscript, and Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu distributed this manuscript of Al-Quran, main 7 copies of Al-Quran, to all the states and had given order to the governors to follow this manuscript of Al-Quran, not to follow all the regional copies or all the regional dialects. Thus, Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu finally compiled Al-Quran, saved Al-Quran from distortion. That's why Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu is considered as the Jamiul Quran in Islam. Question C. Whose lifestyle is manifested in the activity of Mr. Abdul Ghani? If we see the life of Abdul Ghani, answer for C. The lifestyle of Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the third Caliph of Islam, is reflected in the life of Mr. Abdul Ghani, because Abdul Ghani also is a wealthy man, and He removed scarcity of water of his local people. He extended the local mosque as there was the scarcity of accommodation. If we see the biography of Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, exactly Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu was also titled as Goni, or the rich man. He had distributed or donated all his assets for the health of Islam, for the welfare of humanity. Especially, we know Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala removed the water crisis, drinking water crisis from Medina. Even he bought a well named Ruma by 18,000 dinar from a Jewish woman to remove the drinking water crisis from Medina, and he donated it for free of cost for all the peoples. And moreover, Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu donated land for Masjid Nabawi to extend it. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu wanted to extend Masjid Nabawi, Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala purchased all the many lands beside Masjid Nabawi, and he donated it for Masjid Nabawi. Thus, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu could extend Masjid Nabawi in the land of Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Hazrat Usman had many other donations in the history of Islam, especially in the Battle of Tabuk. We know Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala donated a huge amount of asset. So, you will write these parts of Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala's biography for this question's answer. Now question D, discuss the life sketch of the great personality which is reflected in the activity of Mr. Misir Ali. The answer for this question, the lifestyle or life sketch of the fourth Khalifa of Islam, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, is reflected in the activity of Misir Ali, because according to our textbook, if we see, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu also was a talented man. He had profound knowledge in all the branches of knowledge of that age. Even about Hazrat Ali's knowledge, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said a hadith. Rasulullah said, "Ana Madinatul ilmi wa Ali yubabuha." I am the city of knowledge and Ali is its gate. So we can realize the thirst of knowledge of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu in this by this hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And like this, Misir Ali was also like so, or followed by Prophet Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala had a poetry book named Diwan Ali. Even Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala was the inventor of Arabic grammar. And another characteristics of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala, he used to lead a very simple life. Even after being the Khalifa of the Muslim Ummah, after being the president of the half of the world, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala didn't receive any personal secretary or personal servant for his money, for his personal life. Hazrat Ali's wife, Hazrat Fatima radiallahu ta'ala, used to do many hard work. Even Hazrat Ali also used to help hard in his household chores, but he never took any types of servant for his household activities. And thus Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala used to lead a very simple life. And if we see here, Misir Ali also followed by the character or ideal of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Now creative 11. Kamrul and Shamsul are two public representatives. After being elected, Kamrul made the people assembled and said, "Brothers, you shall obey and follow me as long as I obey Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if I tread the wrong path, you shall rectify me." On the other hand, Shamsul punished his own son very severely for his faults. He used to roam about in alleys and lanes in the cover of deep night to see the condition of the people. That means the question from this creative A, which tribe was Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu born in? Question B, why is Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu called as Farooq? Explain it. Question C, whose speech has been flashed in Mr. Kamrul's address? Explain. Question D, analyze according to your textbook the activity of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu which is reflected in the act of Mr. Shamsul. Let's solve the questions. Question A, which tribe was Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala born in? Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu was born in Banu Taim tribe of Quraysh. That means Banu Taim clan of Quraysh tribe. Question B. Why Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu called as Farooq? Answer. Farooq means one who differentiates between truth and falsehood. As after receiving Islam, Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu declared to perform Islam openly. That means as Hazrat Umar disclosed Islam from secrecy by declaring that from today there will be no secrecy, Islam will be observed openly, as Islam is the true religion, as Kaaba is the house of the Muslims. That's why there is no secrecy. And for this brave decision and declaration of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam titled him Farooq. That means the person who differentiated between truth and falsehood, between kufr and Islam, between right and wrong. That's why Hazrat Umar was called is called Farooq. Question C. Whose speech has been placed in Mr. Kamrul's address? Dear students, if we see the biography of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, we can see after being Khalifa of the Muslim Ummah, after the death or demise of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he elected as Khalifa, he addressed the presented people by saying, you shall follow me, you shall obey me as long as I follow Allah and His Rasul. And if I follow the wrong path, you will rectify me. And exactly the speech of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu was followed here by Mr. Shamsul, by Mr. Kamrul. So, and at the next part, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu told that the poor among you are more stronger to me until I give their proper rights, and the rich person among you are weak to me until they give their portion to the state. Thus, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu made balance between rich and poor person. And if we see here, Mr. Kamrul's address is exactly followed by the speech of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And question, so for question C, we will write the biography of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Question D. Analyze according to your textbook the activity of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, which is reflected in the act of Mr. Shamsul. Dear students, if we see the biography of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu punished his own son Abu Shahama for taking wine, and severely he punished him. Even according to history, he were dead. So, for the Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala established justice by punishing his own son, and here also Mr. Shamsul followed this character or this ideal, that is the establishing the rules of law was followed by Mr. Shamsul. And another characteristics of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala we see, Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala used to roam in his locality and used to see the situation or condition of the people, of the citizen in the deep and dark and deep night, because he used to he thought himself as the Khalifa, as the representative, as the servant of the people. That's why he used to roam in the locality. And we know a history and an incident during Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. One day while he was roaming in his locality, he saw a old woman was boiling water in a pot to console his son, as he had no food in his home. But when Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu understood and informed it, he beard the flour well from Baitul Mal to that heart and helped that woman. And it was the service of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. According to our statement, according to our this creative, Mr. Shamsul also followed this character and this ideal of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So we will write the answer for D here. the biography of Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, C, biography of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. This is the answer for this question. Okay, dear students, that's all. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.